Hi friends, in this video we will discuss about Quant Absolute Fund. This mutual fund was called as Quant Balanced Direct Growth Fund earlier. It is an open-ended fund you can invest at any time and it falls under the category of aggressive hybrid fund. It indicates that minimum 65% will be invested in equity stocks and 35% will be invested in debt instruments. Before we go ahead with further review, let us first understand the information about Quant AMC. This AMC was launched in the year 1996 and the total asset under the management is around 62,301 crore. There are more than 74 different varieties of mutual fund schemes being offered. The official website of this mutual fund house is quantmutual.com. I will provide all this link in the description of this video. As I mentioned earlier, it was launched in the year 1996 and it has been in the field for over 22 years. If you want to know more about the different varieties of mutual fund being offered, you can navigate to mutual fund schemes and you can filter based on your needs and select the mutual fund that you want to get invested. It is recommended that we get invested directly via the AMC website so that we don't have any intermediary people in middle, but you can still get invested via its distributor. Example: Paytm Money, ET Money, Zerotha Coin, Upstacks. It's up to the choice of yours. If you are trying to get invested directly via the AMC website, you have to click on Transact and Service Portal. It will take you to the website which I'm going to show you right now, and you have to click here to transact. If you are the first time customer, you have to sign up for your account by providing your PAN details and other information which it is asking for. If you have already an account created, you can sign in with your PAN and password. Once you have logged in, you can perform the transaction for the mutual fund of your choice. Let us quickly go back to the absolute fund review. The current net asset value as on March 15, 2024 is 417.7 rupees. It means that to get invested in this mutual fund, to buy a unit, you have to pay 407.7 rupees. Example, if you are planning to get invested in this mutual fund for rupees 5,000, then you will be getting the unit allocation of 417.7, then it will yield you 11.9 units. Let us quickly understand the comparison of this mutual fund with its category average. As you can clearly see, in over 5 years time frame, it has outperformed its category average. The blue indicates Quant Absolute Fund, that is what we are reviewing now, and the orange indicates the category average. So you can clearly see there is a spike for the blue line. So it has been performing outstandingly well in over 5 years. Let us go back to 3 years time frame. It is the same story. You can clearly see the blue line is over the category average. Let's start with some basic information. Value Research online rating of this mutual fund is 5-star. It is given based on its risk and return ratio. The expense ratio associated with this fund is 0.83% as on February 29, 2024. This is something that we have to always look into before we choose any mutual fund to get invested. This expense ratio really matters. If the expense ratio is higher, your investment return will be less because this expense ratio will be charged on daily basis by the AMC without you knowing it. And by comparing this expense ratio with its category average, this sits in the middle. It is not lower in the category or higher in the category. So we'll discuss more in the coming section. The exit load of this mutual fund is 1%. It means that if you start investment today, if you are trying to redeem the money within 15 days from your investment, then you have to pay 1% of the mutual fund value. But if you are trying to redeem after 15 days, then this exit load is not applicable. The total asset under the management is around 1788 crores. There is no lock-in period associated with this fund. It means that you can redeem your money anytime from the time you started investing. For example, ELSS has a lock-in period of 3 years. If you start investing today, you can't redeem your money before 3 years time frame. So there is no restriction like that in this Absolute Quant Fund. The fund was launched on January 1st, 2013. The benchmark which it is tracking is Crisil Hybrid 35 plus 65 aggressive. 65% minimum will be invested in the equity scheme and 35 will be invested in the debt instruments. To get invested, the minimum investment amount of this mutual fund is lump sum of 5,000 rupees. For SIP, you have to start with minimum 1,000 rupees. The risk ratio of this mutual fund is really high. So you have to be very careful investing in this mutual fund. If you are looking for any short term gain, this is not the mutual fund that you have to get invested in. If you have an investment appetite for over 5 years or 10 years time frame, then this is the mutual fund you have to look for. Let us discuss about the return calculator. All these calculations are based on how this fund has performed in the past. It is not a forecast of how it is going to perform in the future. So keep that in your mind. Let's start with the monthly SIP. Consider you have started investment in this fund 5 years before today. So consider you have started with 1,000 rupees per month for over 5 years. So the total investment you would have made in this mutual fund would be 60,000. The profit you would have gained is 58,671 rupees. So combining these two, you would have earned the return of 1,19,000 rupees. So the absolute return is 97.78%, which is really 100% of your investment. So you can clearly see this graph indicates that this fund has given more return compared to keeping the money in the bank or getting invested in the gold or its category average. So it has outperformed all these three instruments and the gain of this mutual fund is really higher. It would be the same case even in case of lump sum. For example, you have started investment before 5 years for the amount of 10,000 one time investment in this mutual fund. So now today is 2024. So you'd have invested around 2019. Consider that. So the investment that you have made in 2019 is 10,000. So the total investment is 10,000. By today, you would have earned the return of 20,000. Combining these two, you would have got the return of 30,000, which is over 200%. Even in this case, you can clearly see the bank return, gold return, as well as the category average. All these things have been outperformed by this mutual fund, even in case of lump sum. So for the investment of 10,000, you have gained 20,000. So combining this, you would have got the return of 30,711 rupees by now. Let's quickly get into the asset getting allocated under this fund as on February 2019, 2024. As I mentioned earlier, minimum 65% has to be allocated in the equity scheme. So in this mutual fund, 70.33% has been allocated in the equity, out of which large cap allocation is more, which is over 59%, mid cap is 6.62%, small cap is 4.69%. 22.27 is being allocated in the debt instrument. From the top holding wise, Geo Financial Services has got allocation of 9.91%. Reliance Industry has got the allocation of 9.7, and Adani Power and Britannia Industries follows. From the sector wise, most of the money is getting allocated for the energy sector. Then the financial, which is over 10%. Metal and mining is around 8.62%, and technology, which is IT, which is around 8.26%. Whether the equity is performing well or debt instrument is performing well, since it is combination of both, the return will be really well. Let us compare this mutual fund with its peers. So this is the mutual fund that we are looking at the moment, Quant Absolute Mutual Fund. ET Money has given the rating of 3. So it is based on the analysis that they have done. The asset under the management is of 1,788 crores. Its expense ratio is 0.83%. So this is what I was saying earlier. So this sits in the middle. So this mutual fund, consider it has the equity expense ratio of 1.03 percentage. It means that they are going to charge you more on daily basis. This ICICI Prudential Equity Fund, which has got allocation of 32,427 crores, which is the higher compared to all other category. But the performance of Quant mutual fund is higher compared to this mutual fund, and the expense ratio is lower compared to the ICICI Prudential Equity and Debt Fund. So, which is also one of the reason why this mutual fund is better in choosing. And from the return wise, if you compare 5 years return, it has given 25.16 percentage, which is also higher than what you see in ICICI Prudential Equity and Debt Fund. In 10 years frame as well, this mutual fund has given more compared to all other mutual fund that you can see in the category. Now we have come to the end of the video. Hope you would have liked the review that we have done for this Quant Absolute Mutual Fund. As I always recommend, please do your research before you invest in any mutual fund. And I will provide all the links that I have referred here in the video description. Please go through it once, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye.